From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big night on LALATE, late night crypto, as we go over the cryptocurrency crash today of 2021. Crypto crashed around 6 a.m. this morning on the West Coast, rebounded, and is crashing again tonight. It is not showing resistance. In this recording, we'll go over why there's a crash of cryptocurrency. Can you still make a profit in this market? What's going on? Are we in crypto winter? And where are the top cryptocurrency buys of 2021? And are we changing focus, or are we more focused on a bigger dip and a bigger bottom before we make our purchase? In tonight's recording, we go back over my top crypto picks over the last week and what they're doing tonight. I had recommended new coins yesterday. Those new coins added to the list last night were Solana and Synthetic. Then we look at the coins which I recommended a week ago that had been way up before the slide. They were up 30 to 50%. They were Polygon, Cardano, Aave, and KUSAMA. We check back in and see where they are tonight. And I also give you a guidance as what to do going forward. And good evening. How are you? This is Late Night Crypto here on LA. Hope you're having a beautiful evening. It is warm and crisp here in Los Angeles. How's the weather where you are? In tonight's recording, we go over the cryptocurrency crash this morning. It started yesterday. It was very apparent it was happening. And then it bottomed out at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It was a very steep dive. It then rebounded, and it's been downturning ever since. I'll go over my input on where you should focus going forward. If you're holding, where you should hold till, and you haven't bought, then when should you buy? I'll go over coin after coin. I'll analyze the situation for you, and again, I'll give you my top 10 cryptocurrency picks of 2021. But first, make sure you subscribe. This is LA, 400,000 subscribers in 1 year, a YouTube record, because we're making people money, we're making people very, very well informed across the board and getting you on your feet. Also like this video and consider becoming a member. Let's get right to the breaking news. The breaking news is the following. Yesterday, I reported on this channel my top 4 picks: KUSAMA, Cardano, Aave, and Polygon. They have been up day after day. But as my coins have been up day after day, giving viewers about a 30 to 50% return, we are also covering on this channel how every single day Ethereum and Bitcoin were down. In fact, Ethereum and Bitcoin continued to erode day after day. And after that recording last night, I went into the live show and I said, hey, you know what? Guess what? My coins are up even higher. But between that time and then 6 a.m. in the Pacific Standard Time today, a whole new change happened. Late last night, the market turned, and suddenly Bitcoin and Ethereum fell, where my 4 coins, which I had predicted you, were flat. At that point, I said, if Bitcoin gets under 35,000 and or Ethereum gets under 2,500, you should expect a bottoming, and you should expect a big fall. And it happened. That fall was very abrupt. At one point this morning, Bitcoin got to 30,000, and then it rebounded. But that rebounding was short-sighted. Here's what you need to know. First, let's go over what happened. Let's look first at the Bitcoin chart to understand why the push and the fall was so severe. And it's important to understand that Bitcoin was the narrative that broadcast media carried. So this was Bitcoin. You see that dip, that major dip was 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But you saw how Bitcoin was eroding progressively over the day. By early evening last night, it started to become apparent it was going to fall. And then it started to fall. But it took the biggest hit around 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then at 6 a.m., it started to free fall. It rebounded, but you see the rebounding is starting to downtick. Ethereum saw the same thing happening, but Ethereum did not rebound as quickly as possible. And Ethereum tonight is 2,500, below that resistance level. And look at the end of the chart, it's down ticking again. So Ethereum has not rebounded as strong as Bitcoin. It is starting to downtrend. And by all accounts, this recording made at 5 o'clock. By the time the show airs at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, Ethereum could be below that dip level of this morning. Let's look by comparison, Polygon. One of the coins which I had been predicting, which I had been recommending over the last 7 days, started to erode yesterday, but its fall was not as abrupt, but its fall became apparent at the same time. You notice what happened with Polygon was Polygon actually got very, very high last night. It got as high as 240, 230, and then it started to slide, but it fell at the exact same time that Bitcoin and Ethereum. You see that dip right there? It's the same spot. And then let's look at a synthetic, which we had added to our watch list and our recommendation list. Same dip point, but look how it's not rebounding that well. It's pulling up and it's down ticking. It's nearly at the point at which it bottomed out this morning. Finally, coin after coin. If you're on Gemini or any other platform, they're all down. So what should you think? What should you know? And first, why did it happen? First, let's go over why did it happen. The fall was not unanticipated. Even before the fall had occurred, I had been on social media and asking viewers, can you vote? Tell me whether you think that a crypto winter, whether a major fall is about to happen the next few days. And viewers said yes. The vast majority saw this coming. So that was the first thing. But no one saw what actually caused this to occur. No one saw that shocker. And what was the shocker that caused this fall? An announcement by the Chinese government late last night. The announcement by the Chinese government late last night barred institutions from buying cryptocurrency ever. Recently, cryptocurrency prices have skyrocketed and plummeted, said the statement from the Chinese government. And speculative trading of cryptocurrencies has rebounded, seriously infringing the safety of people's property and disrupting the normal economic and financial order, was the statement released late last night. China banned financial institutions and payment companies from providing services related to cryptocurrency, and also told its citizens to not invest in them, even though they are actually allowed to still hold a position individually. Beijing has done this before. In 2017, they shut down all local cryptocurrency exchanges. And they've done this before. You understand that a lot of the mining comes out of China. This is among a lot of insiders' belief that China is trying to crack down on this to launch its own system. Now, the reaction to the news came early this morning. When the fall was happening at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and was clearly apparent by 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, broadcast media was already on air on the West Coast. And guess what they said? They used the two major coins, Ethereum and cryptocurrency, Ethereum and Bitcoin, as the reason to cover the story. They were not covering Polygon. They were not covering Aave. They were not covering Cardano. Their coverage was that Bitcoin was nearly 60,000 a few weeks ago and is now at 30,000. And while it's up, it was 30,000 and it fell and lost 50% of its value to millions of Americans. So that was the story. And the story was front page news. They also ran that Ethereum and Bitcoin had lost 25% of their value in just a few minutes. So that was a story. And immediately the analysts came in. And what did the analysts say? Mike Novogratz, top cryptocurrency investor, told Broadcast News that this is a liquidation event. It's not a mild correction, that it will wipe people out of the market and will not have a fixed market the next 5 minutes. So basically what he said was Humpty Dumpty will never get back together, never got back together in 2 days. When he cracks, it takes a while. The market will consolidate. It will find a bottom somewhere. I'm hoping it's close to here. The story hasn't gone anywhere. The crypto revolution has happened. But this will be a setback. People will lose money and they will dust themselves off for a while. So what was his opinion of the situation? His opinion of the situation was much mine, which was the following. That some people will get spooked by this. Some people will have bought a very lofty price, potentially a $40,000 Bitcoin price, and will sell at 30,000 and will lose money and may not come back in. That will be the first situation. The second situation is some people will understand how severely cryptocurrency fell and how quickly it fell. If you come from a stock trading environment, you understand that a stock rarely loses 25% of its value in less than an hour. In fact, you rarely ever see that situation. It would be a scandalous event or something of major world significance for a stock to fall. Moreover, here's another example. You never see all the stocks in one industry fall all at the same time. So let's take automotive, for example. You would never see every single automotive stock fall at the exact same time and the exact same minute, even though they are completely unrelated companies with different operating systems. And that's what happened in cryptocurrency. An entire bottoming out at the exact same time, despite whatever coin you have exactly happening across the board. What's also important is that the fall was very abrupt. It was very, very abrupt. And if no one had ever tracked cryptocurrency or been involved with cryptocurrency when a fall happened like this, it would have shocked a lot of viewers. Finally, the impact upon the actual buying and selling of the cryptocurrency. While you may have come from a stock environment, trading on a stock website or a brokerage website, or something that is a Fortune 500 company's operation. In the case of Coinbase, in the case of Gemini, in the case of Robinhood, locking up has been very consistent when these major events occur. Gemini was down for over 30, 40 minutes while this was happening. Coinbase, viewers were reporting outage. So if you wanted to get out, you couldn't get out. If you wanted to get in, you couldn't get in. And that doesn't really sit well for a lot of people when they want to make money or not lose the money. So what do you need to know tonight now that you know that a crash has occurred? Is the crash over? My prediction is it's not. On Morning's Crypto this morning, I said I think that there's going to be at least a 10% further fall across the board. So let's look at those charts and see if I was correct. So far, it looks like I'm correct. I said I would not buy if you haven't bought yet. And that was this morning. So let's look at Polygon, for example. When I recorded that video, Polygon had already ticked up from that downturn in the middle of the chart. Let's pull that chart right now. So here was the dip right here. And when I was on air, this is where Polygon was on Morning Crypto. I said I expect another 20% fall. Well, here we're going. We are heading down right here. So if you had heeded my advice, you had not bought this morning if you hadn't owned already. Let's look at Ethereum. Same situation. It is heading down across the board. Let's look at Ethereum right here. It is not as low as it was during that dip, but boy, it is heading down. There is no support right there. Let's look at another position. Here is Synthetic. Synthetic is testing that level from this morning, that real bad level. So could you fall below that lowest spot of the lowest spot of today, later tonight? Absolutely. Absolutely. My prediction, my recommendation, if you have not bought, do not buy yet. Do not buy yet. I don't think you're at the bottom. Be aggressive on and be patient and be cautious. I would not buy at these levels. I think it's going to fall further. And let's look at another chart. Here is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has the better of the charts, but it's not that good. It's 37,000. And then finally, let's look at how you understand what a slide is and not a dip. So this was Doge when I reported it last night. I said, don't buy on a slide and don't get a slide confused with a dip. Here's an example of a slide. This was not a chart from today, but several days ago. You don't want to be buying on the slide because you're losing your money. Here's a dip. Let's go over a dip. That's a dip. That's not a chart from tonight, but it's a chart from a few days ago. You see where something is down ticking. And then finally, what's a resistance level? Here's a resistance level where a coin is trading in a range. At the end of the trading range, let's pull over to this spot right here. Here we go. Where the red spot is on the chart, you see it is starting to break below the resistance level on the right side. That is a warning signal. So do we see resistance levels being broken tonight? Absolutely. Let's go back to Polygon. So there's Polygon. If it breaks, now you see it is upticking just a little bit, but you see it's trying to test that low from early this morning, overnight. That's why you don't want to buy, because it's testing these no lows. It's currently at, what is it, 173. Look how high Polygon was on last night's show, 256. Let's see where it went let's see how low it got during that dip. It went to 150 during the crash this morning, then traded up all the way to 160, 220. Now, could you have bought and sold? Yes. Are the platforms working that robustly that they're allowing you to get in and get out? No, I don't think so, but it depends on your user experience. I have not seen the platforms working so easily that you could have bought at 150 and got it out at 220 and made a beautiful 20% return your money in about 2 hours. Here is Ether. Here on Ether, you could have made a profit if you had gotten in and gotten out. 2,000 got into 2,800. But where should you buy and when should you buy? Let's go over all the details, and then we'll go over the respective coins. When should you buy, and when should you, and what should you buy? I would recommend you to have a focus on why you're purchasing. First, are you purchasing on trading purposes? Are you purchasing on long-term holds? So if it's a long-term hold, meaning you want to hold a coin for 2, 3, 4 years, I'd buy Ethereum. Not yet. I'd wait till Ethereum gets into the 1,500, 1,600, 1,700. I think it's an easy, breezy analysis. If you're going to hold Ethereum for a year and a half, Ethereum's probably going to go to 7,000 in a year and a half, within the year and a half. Some people thought it was going to go to 7,000 by the summer. But if you buy Ethereum at 1,500, it'll certainly go to 7,000. Now, if you're new to this channel, let me repeat. You do not have to buy one Ethereum coin. So you do not have to spend $1,500 on Ethereum. You don't have to spend $1,000 on Ethereum. You can buy a $20 position in Ethereum or a $5 position in Ethereum. Ultimately, when you go to the platform, just tell the platform how much you want to buy in the position. Don't hear the number 1,500 and say, "Oh, that's too expensive for me." Don't do that. That's the first thing. If it's a long time hold, yes, coins that are very, very cheap are great long-term holds. Would I hold a Solana or a synthetic long-term? No, that's not where you want to be. If you want to hold something long-term, you want to hold Ethereum, but get it at an incredible price, 1,500, 1,400, 1,200, 1,100, 1,600. You want to get it at a great price and hold it for a couple years. Next, if you want to trade, which means you're going to have to really be on that phone or that website a lot. You cannot leave it alone for 10 hours. When you're dealing with cryptocurrency, you literally have to be on top of it around the clock. If you want to trade, you want to buy it cheap and get out with a 50% return on your money, you could literally do this with any of these coins in a 3-hour window. You could literally buy it and be out in 50% return on your money. But it is a lot of focus. You cannot go out and mow the lawn and come back in 2 hours because you may lose that opportunity. This is literally staying on a computer, staying on the phone, and being ready to hit that button and buy and sell right away. Next, would I buy any of the coins to hold them for a few months? Absolutely. But not yet at tonight's levels. So yes, my picks remain the same. And so what are my picks? Those are coming up in a second. Finally, when should you buy? I don't think we're at the bottom. I think we will know when we're at the bottom, or we will sense we're at the bottom. And people who come from the securities world, from stock trading, they don't have this rose-colored glasses approach to cryptocurrency that some crypto investors do. Some crypto investors want to think everything is always wonderful, want to always cheer on their coin, want to say, well, I'm holding the line, I'm staying in, I'm not leaving, I don't care if it's down, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to stay. In the world of the stock environment, you're in one stock, you're out of it, you're into another stock. You do not have that allegiance like you're dating the stock. We ain't going on a date with this crypto. We aren't engaged the crypto. And so with that, I want you to understand that you need to be very cautious. I think the market could go down another 10%. It could go down another 20%. I don't think we're at the bottom. And I think that any uptick will cause a lot of people to start rallying and saying, hey, we are doing wonderful. It's over. No, I don't think it's over. I think you're going to see, you won't know where we are potentially for another 24 hours. Potentially for another 24 hours, we won't see where we are. And if you were with me last Wednesday, the stock market crashed last Wednesday severely. Today was down, but did not crash as badly as yesterday, or market correction. Cryptocurrency was down last Wednesday. And guess when cryptocurrency was down? Saturday and Sunday. So we're just a few days away from the weekend. And we're not doing good in the middle of the week. So imagine what coins may be starting Saturday noontime, Pacific Standard Time, all the way to Sunday. They make it be very cheap. So I would not buy yet. I would not buy it. I would use this channel as information to know which coins to buy and to get a sense of how cheap coins may get and then say, this looks really cheap. This just looks really cheap. I like this coin. I don't think it's going away. And I feel that we are at the bottom. What is at the bottom? It means you're at the bottom of that downturn, that downdraft. Tonight, if I pull up my split screen, which I haven't done yet, if I pull up my split screen with me and coinmarketcap.com, it is no surprise that every single coin is a sea of red. Coins are down on both the 7-day and the 24-hour. And what's important to understand is that that is not stopping anytime soon. Tonight, you are going to see coins down across the board. If I can find my split screen, maybe I can. There it is. So if you go over to coinmarketcap.com, you are literally going to, I pointed the wrong way. Anyway, one of these ways I'm pointing that way. You will see over there, you'll see that coins is down. They're just down everywhere. The market is down. Coins are down 24 hours. They're down 7 days. Here's what you need to know is that some people will potentially tomorrow come in and look at coins and say, oh, it's up today. Yeah, but it has literally lost its value in 24 hours. It is literally tanked to the floor in 24 hours. So please don't use the 24 hour as your benchmark looking at any coins tomorrow because they will have been down. I had a lot of people who are reaching out to me from Shiba and Doge or say, oh, but it's upticking again. Yeah, but it's down for 8 days. It's down from 10 days. You are below the 10-day moving average, the 10-day number. If a coin is down for 10 consecutive days and then upticks 2% on day 9, that is nothing to celebrate about. So let's go back to the coins and which coins to pick. So my coins to pick still remain unchanged. Polygon, Cardano, KUSAMA, and Aave. But I'm also recommending as well Solana and Synthetic. I like Solana and Synthetic as well. Now, here's what you need to know is that before the market crashed today, all my coins were up day after day after day. At the same time, Bitcoin and Ethereum were down. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been down for days after days after days. It was no surprise there was going to be a crash because they just have not had an up day. During that time that they were down, my coins were down. Here's what you need to know is that while I'm not recommending you to buy Ethereum or Bitcoin, I want you to watch them because if Ethereum and Bitcoin continue to have day after day after day down and potentially these coins start to retick up again, I want you to watch Ethereum and Bitcoin because they are indicators of what could happen to my coins. Here's what you need to know. If Ethereum falls under 1,000, I don't care if you're interested in buying Polygon. You need to watch Ethereum because if Ethereum falls under 1,000, Polygon is going to fall. It just has nothing to do with what's going on with Ethereum. It's just going to fall because Ethereum if Ethereum falls under 2,000, falls into the 1,000 range, like 1,900, 1,800, other coins are going to pull down because that story, the Ethereum fall, will run on broadcast news. If Bitcoin falls under 35,000, then Cardano is going to pull down. Not because there's something wrong with Cardano, just because the market is going to get coverage of downturning. So your indicators of a downturning market are the following benchmarks. Ethereum, under 2,000. Bitcoin, under 35,000. If either of those two events happen, be careful on buying any other coins because your coins could go down a lot more. Here's an example. If Ethereum falls to 34,000 and you're interested in buying Polygon, I would not buy Polygon. If Bitcoin is then going to 33,000, I would really not buy Polygon. If Bitcoin is then heading to 30,000, I would not buy Polygon. I would wait. Because if Bitcoin is falling and free falling, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30,000, falling, then Polygon is going to get pulled down by the downdraft of the bad coverage of news coverage that's going to come that cryptocurrency is falling because Bitcoin is falling. That's how you have to focus. So again, your two benchmarks. Bitcoin 35,000, Ethereum less than 2,000. If either of those two events happen, do not start buying coins because your coins could downdraft. And ultimately, you want to wait until it settles out. Now, just because it settles out, here's what you need to know. I can't be on air all the time. But let's say Bitcoin goes to 28,000 overnight. Let's just say Bitcoin goes to 28,000 overnight. Is that the bottom? No one knows. No one knows that's the bottom. So don't presume that if Bitcoin falls to a very low level, like a 29,000 or 28,000, that we've reached the very bottom. Now, there are people who say, but I got it so darn cheap. I got it really cheap. Now, you may want to trade. But I want you to be fully warned that if you buy a coin as the market is downdrafting, which means it's downturning, you may downturn as well. Here's the example. Let's pull back a chart right now. So there's Polygon. So you may have thought that Polygon was in a much better situation up here. And you're like, oh, we rebounded. Okay, maybe I'll buy some. No, okay, now maybe I won't. Now it's down ticking. Okay, I'll be patient. And then it got to here and it downdrafted. And then you're like, well, that's a dip. Let me buy on that dip. Oh, I bought on the dip. I'm good. Now we're up ticking. Don't be so confident about your positions. The one thing I've seen about a lot of YouTubers, and it just makes me worried, is that they emit this level of incredible confidence. You're never always right. You're often wrong. And admit that you may be wrong, because wrong leads to losses. So you're up here, and then suddenly, bam, look what's going to Polygon. It's now testing a new low. So this was not a dip to celebrate about, because there was just another fall right after it. So ultimately, the coins I recommend still remain unchanged. Polygon, Cardano, KUSAMA, Aave. The other two coins I recommend are Solana and Synthetic. I do not recommend you to buy them at current levels right now tonight as of 5:25 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If I recommend you to track Ethereum and track Bitcoin. If Ethereum falls under 2,000, don't be buying any of the coins recommended in the show. If Bitcoin falls under 35,000 or Ethereum falls under 2,000, don't be buying any coins. Be patient. Ultimately, you need to track that chart of Ethereum and Bitcoin and see if it's leveling out. Don't think that an immediate drop is an opportunity to buy something, because guess what? It could downdraft again. Here's an example. Down, blop. Then it upticks. You're like, oh, it's rebounding. Get it. Then it rebounds. Oh, I'm doing really well. Look how much money I just made in 20 minutes. And then, bam, right down. You don't want to go through that. And so be patient, be cautious. Ultimately, should you buy Ethereum? Should you buy Bitcoin? And yes, I mean, an Ethereum or Bitcoin at a very cheap price is wonderful. I mean, if Bitcoin goes to 27,000, why would you not buy it and hold it for a couple of years? If Ethereum goes to $1,500 overnight, which I don't think it's going to, but I've been wrong before. If Ethereum goes to $1,500 overnight, why would you not buy it? But remember, the platforms you can buy coins on, tier one is Gemini, which locked up last night. Also Coinbase, which some people had reports of problems with. Also Robinhood. Other coins like Cardano, other coins that are of smaller market capitalization, you go to tier two companies like crypto. You can buy on them and sell on the same positions. And ultimately, they also have alert systems, most of the platforms. And some of the platforms have limit orders where you can tell the computer system to sell at a particular order and buy at a particular order. Finally, what I really recommend, and I don't think you're doing it, but I still have to recommend it. Do not buy coins on margin. Do not buy cryptocurrency on margin. Do not buy options on coins or do any strange type of derivative action on coins because it is too volatile a market and you will get burned. Lastly, don't buy coins based upon pep rallies. We're not here to do pep rallies. And ultimately, every coin has an army, and that army may all tell you that everything is going to be so wonderful and all going to be so rich together. There's one person who got a lot of coverage called the Doge Millionaire. And that Doge Millionaire, his position when he was covered as a millionaire at 70 cents, has been falling as low as 30 cents today. Could go to 25 cents. So you are not a millionaire until you cash out of the position. Don't be afraid to take profits. Ultimately, you take profits, you can go back in, buy a house with the money, buy an asset, buy some stock, or come back in when the market is correcting. And with that, let's go back to my top picks of the night again. It's finally, and let's see where they are right now. There is Synthetic, remains one of my picks tonight. Buy it when it reaches a bottom. It's not at the bottom yet. Polygon, currently at 188. Buy it when it's at a bottom. Ether, you should track so you know what's going on with the market. Bitcoin, you should track when you know what's going on in the market. My coin recommendations are Solana and Synthetic. I'm not recommending Shiba. Also, I'm recommending Polygon, KUSAMA, Aave, and Cardano. And there you go. If you pull up coinmarketcap.com, it is a sea of red tonight. Coin after coin after coin, down, down, down. And it may continue for a while. What is crypto winter? It refers to a bear market where the industry continues a downdraft and doesn't rebound itself. Ultimately, you can make money in a downdraft. My focus is making you money all the time. So stay with me. Make sure you subscribe. Share these videos on Facebook and Instagram and Reddit. And stay with me. I'll see you tomorrow morning on mornings crypto. But next up is a big set of broadcasts. Also, jumping to the live feed, the 9-hour feed, which this becomes part of tonight. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, and stay with LA for more.